Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this series of talks on the history of Christianity in the ancient period. This is the 11th talk in the series, presented to you by Father Mahimai Das, a Salesian priest of the province of Bengaluru. The materials for this video are taken from the book A Short History of Christianity in the Ancient Period, which is used as textbook in Christou Giotti College.
I hope the previous videos on the history of Christianity have helped you understand the Church and our faith a little better. If you have not watched them, please find their links in the description so that you do not miss out the continuity. In the last video, we discussed about the early Christian persecutions under Emperor Nero and Emperor Trajan. In today's video, we shall see a major persecution in the ancient period under Emperor Decius.
Now let us see what was the situation of the Church at the beginning of the 3rd century. The 3rd century actually began on a peaceful note for Christianity, and this peace lasted for nearly 50 years. Because of this, it became a time mainly for the expansion of Christianity, as well as for better organization and theological development. Since there was no major persecution, the Church had the freedom to evangelize, organize itself more clearly, and theologians have the time to think, reflect, and write.
The first person to organize Christian thought into a more systematic and unified form was Origen of Alexandria. He was based in Alexandria and was the headmaster of the famous catechetical school there. He made great use of Greek philosophy in explaining Christian teachings. Even though some of his ideas were later considered incorrect, he remained one of the most influential authorities in the following century. One of his important contributions was his method of interpreting Scripture. He taught that the Bible should be understood allegorically, meaning that the stories and images in it often point to deeper spiritual meanings rather than just literal ones.
However, this long period of peace also had a negative side. Many Christians became comfortable and a bit careless about their faith. They were no longer as spiritually alert or strong as before. So, when persecution suddenly came, it came as a real shock. This happened under Emperor Decius, who, being worried about the growing number of Christians, ordered the first empire-wide persecution of the Church in the year 250.
Now, why did Decius persecute the Christians? He became emperor in 248 during a very difficult time for the Roman Empire. The empire was facing problems both from within and from outside. Internally, there was a lot of political instability. Generals were constantly rebelling and trying to become emperors, so many rulers came and went in a short period. This situation really fits the saying, "Uneasy is the head that wears the crown." Externally, barbarian groups were attacking the empire and threatening the normal life of society.
Decius was a thoughtful ruler, and he came to the conclusion that all these problems were happening because the Roman gods were angry. According to him, the gods were not being properly worshipped, and that was why the empire was suffering. So he decided that everyone in the empire must show proper respect to the Roman gods. To make this happen, he issued an order or edict in the year 250.
Now, you may wonder how this edict led to persecution. According to the order, people could choose how they wanted to worship, either by offering sacrifice or by burning incense. After doing this, they had to obtain a certificate from a government official confirming that they had followed the order. This rule indirectly affected Christians because they could not worship pagan gods. Because of this, they were automatically in conflict with the law. Since the order applied to the entire empire, it resulted in a general, empire-wide persecution.
The Christians were completely taken by surprise, mainly because this was the first time that a law had been clearly made against their belief system. As a result, many of them left the church. Some Christians stood firm and refused to obey the order, but a large number gave in. They either offered sacrifice or burned incense to avoid punishment. Others managed to escape trouble by bribing officials and obtaining the certificate without actually performing the rituals.
All those who left the church during this time were collectively called lapsi, a Latin word meaning those who slipped away. Among them, there were 3 types. First were the sacrificati, those who offered sacrifices. Second were the therificati, those who offered incense. And third were the libellatici, those who bribed officials and got the certificates.
Now, what were the effects on the church? The effects were quite serious. Pope Fabian was one of those who suffered martyrdom during this persecution. Origen of Alexandria and the bishops of Jerusalem and Antioch also died in prison. Unfortunately, many bishops and priests abandoned the faith. In fact, the number of those who gave up their faith was very large, larger than those who remained faithful, especially in places like Egypt and North Africa. In North Africa, even some bishops were among those who lapsed, and one of them actually encouraged many others to offer sacrifices. In Spain, 2 bishops obtained certificates, and in the East, a bishop even carefully organized the ritual of sacrifice. So this was truly a very sad period in the history of the church.
At this time, Saint Cyprian, the bishop of Carthage, fled from his diocese and went into hiding. Because of this, he was criticized by many. However, even while in hiding, he stayed in touch with his people through letters and encouraged those who were suffering and imprisoned. It is also important to note that the number of those who actually lost their lives was relatively small compared to the number of those who either abandoned their faith or were arrested. After the initial shock, however, the church slowly recovered and many Christians remained faithful.
The persecution came to an end with the sudden death of Decius in 251. After his death, the church again experienced a short period of peace. In a way, this persecution was not a victory for either side. The church suffered heavy losses because many members abandoned their faith, but at the same time, the emperor failed to destroy Christianity.
However, this persecution created a new and serious problem for the church. After everything was over, the lapsi, those who had left the faith, wanted to return to the church. This created confusion because such a situation had never arisen before. Different groups had different opinions. Some said that the lapsi should never be accepted back because they had sinned seriously. Others said they could be readmitted, but only after being baptized again. Still others suggested that they should be allowed back after doing penance.
Even among those who supported their return, there was disagreement about who had the authority to readmit them. Some said it should be the bishops, but the problem was that many bishops themselves had lapsed. Others argued that those who had remained faithful, known as confessors, should decide. Because of all these disagreements and debates, the church gradually began to develop a clearer understanding and teaching about baptism and the practice of penance. We will take up these issues in the next video. Thank you.